Republican Congresswoman Ann Wagner attacked Obama because he dared to stand up for refugees. Let's listen.
Here's what disgusts me. I got to tell you what, Jamie, and this is just, early morning me here, but I thought what the president did earlier in his press conference this week was an absolute disgrace. He decided to pick a fight and stand up for ISIS and stand up against the side of freedom, and to pick a fight with not just Republicans but Democrats over this refugee issue. It is a politicization. It is a deflecting measure.
That's unreal. Obama decided to pick a fight for ISIS and stand up for ISIS because he dares to want to take some, emphasis on that word, Syrian refugees. Standing up for ISIS. Wait a second. There's been, for the past week or so, a bunch of people have been talking about the fact that one of the goals of ISIS is to destroy what they call the gray zone between Westerners and Muslims, where they're Muslims who are assimilated and they're Western in their identity as well. But the idea is they want to drive a wedge between that and make it so that the West totally turns against all Muslims, and then the Muslims are going to, well, where are we going to go? And ISIS steps in, fills that gap, fills that void, and says, look, even though you don't like us, we're going to fucking protect you because those big, bad, evil Westerners have rejected you fully, and aren't they everything that we said they were from day one? Aren't they that bad and that evil and that wrong? So, if anything, who's really defending ISIS here? Now, obviously, I'm not saying that that's your intent, but, George W. Bush ended up helping the monstrosity of ISIS by breaking the Middle East, breaking Iraq, getting rid of the stabilizing force, which was Saddam Hussein, the dictator, and de-Ba'athifying the government, pissing off the Sunni population. ISIS rose up. It was because of his actions. Did he necessarily want that to happen? Of course not. But it did happen as a result of his bad ideas. And this is the same shit that we're seeing here. Obama's standing up for ISIS because he's daring to say, hey, let's take in some Syrian refugees. This isn't like a reasonable debate we're having in America. It's not like we're having a discussion where the Republicans say, okay, look, we only want to take 5,000 Syrian refugees. For whatever reason, a variety of reasons. Well, we had problems with refugees in 2011 or 2009, which is true, by the way, and limited resources, whatever. You come up with whatever excuse you want. Okay, that's a fair position. I don't necessarily agree with it. I would go higher than that, but at least you're sitting at the table. And the Democrats can say, no, we want 30,000 Syrian refugees. What the Republicans are saying is zero, none, zip, nada, end of conversation. And Obama's saying, I think the number is from Syria specifically, just 10,000. He's like, okay, 10,000. Germany's taking 800,000. France, that just got attacked, not by Syrian refugees, for the record, at least none of that we know of yet, but they're like, okay, bring in 30,000 refugees. The Republicans are like, zero. We want zero. Guys, this isn't a reasonable conversation that we're having. I mean, the vetting process in the U.S. is impeccable, where I think it takes on average 1 year or 2 years to get here. We covered all the details of it on the show last week, but there's multiple high-level security background checks. The FBI gets involved, other government agencies, they have extensive interviews with the Department of Homeland Security. I mean, the only thing missing in this long chain of vetting is literally somebody on the ground in Syria, which is a war zone, vetting on the ground there, trying to scope out what's happening and who's on what side, and hey, what's your background like, what's your family life like? And a lot of people we've taken in are women, children, and senior citizen age men. They're like, nope, nobody. And then these are also the people that'll turn around and say, family values, moral values, I'm the most Christian motherfucker that there is on planet Earth, except when it comes time to actually practice that ideology, then I'm gone. Then, fuck Jesus who? Jesus you talking about? I know a Jesus, I don't know a Jesus. I don't know, who's that? And then the last thing I want to mention real fast is she threw in the word freedom. It's like the Democrat, anti-freedom. Obama's anti-freedom for wanting to bring in some Syrian refugees. What the fuck does that have to do with freedom? No, now the Republican trick is, since they have no substance to anything that they say, Just word salad. Word salad of things that are concepts that we all agree with or say we agree with, but it has no relevance to this conversation. Oh, you want to bring in some Syrian refugees to make sure that they don't die in a war that they don't want nothing to do with? You're fucking anti-freedom. The fuck are you saying? No, you know who is anti-freedom? These guys. You are. Ann Wagner. Are you in favor of legalizing all drugs? No. Okay, you're anti-freedom. Are you in favor of a woman making whatever choice she wants with her own body? No. Okay, so you're anti-freedom. Are you in favor of legalized prostitution? No, you're anti-freedom. Legalized gambling? No, you're anti-freedom. Need I continue? No, it's just a word that they throw around. There's no substance connected to it. And obviously, the attacks on Obama are just fling mud. That's it. And again, so when she says Obama is standing up for ISIS, helping ISIS, okay, is there an argument that Obama has helped ISIS? Sure. But how does that argument go? It goes a little something like this. You're doing military interventions in 7 different countries. You've bombed so many civilians. The drone strike rate fails 90% of the time. You get the wrong people. 90%. You're going to kill civilians, create further radicalization, make more terrorists, and therefore you're helping ISIS even though you're not necessarily trying to. There's the argument. But even when she gets the first part right of like, okay, his policies might be helping ISIS, what does she say the reason is? Because you want to let in a few Syrian grandmothers and children and women. No, on that one, you guys would definitely be helping ISIS by rejecting everybody.